My name is Koki Morimoto, a 27-year-old salaryman. I live with my 23-year-old sister, who just started working. She has a friend from university who also works at the same company. Because she lives in a nearby apartment, my sister often invites her over on the weekends.
I'm home. Hello. Can I come in too?
You two okay? Good job this week.
Working 5 days in a row is so hard. Wednesdays should be a day off. I agree. It's definitely more efficient if we constantly take breaks rather than having 2 consecutive days off on the weekends.
Want to join us for dinner, Yui?
Thank you, sir. I don't have enough energy to make myself dinner at home.
Eating dinner together and listening to their stories about work have become part of my daily life.
You're earlier today, bro. Did you get your work done early?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, sir, there's something I wanted to tell you. Today, my boss taught me how to complete a task, but he acted like I was his close friend, and I felt so disgusted.
Oh, okay, I see. I think he acted like that to make you relax. I bet he's out of kindness.
He shouldn't make judgments about me. Most of the guys at our workplace is like that. Naoko, doesn't it annoy you too? Well, yeah, I guess, but I try to be patient.
Kinda hurts me to know that the new female employees might be feeling the same towards me. I guess it takes time to get used to the new job. Yui always complained about her company whenever she visited us. I know it stresses people out when they can't let these things out, so I listened to her complaints and sometimes gave her some advice from the perspective of her company. A week later,
I'm always working until late at night these days. Isn't this against the labor contracts?
I see. I guess you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we're being relied on now that we're getting used to our job.
Another week later.
I thought of a more efficient way to finish my work than following the old ways of completing the task. But they scolded me to follow their old way. They're so old-fashioned, don't you think?
Calm down. The additional steps might feel useless, but it might help you in the future.
It's best to do whatever they tell us to do. I have to work until late because of that. If I do it in my own way, I'll be able to go home early.
Another week later.
It's pissing me off. They told me it's important to make decisions for myself, but then they got angry at me for making selfish decisions. I bet they've been pressuring new employees to quit the job by treating them horribly like this.
Her complaints got more severe as time passed by, and when I paid close attention to what she's been telling us, I realised that she's been causing trouble because of her selfish actions, and her boss nor the company did nothing to be blamed. So listening to her made me feel uneasy.
See you again, sir. Thank you for having me.
Be careful on your way home.
See you next week.
She complained a lot, as usual.
Sorry. It stresses you out, doesn't it? I know that it stresses Yui out because she's not used to her job yet, but I think she's complaining too much recently. She complains she has to work until late, but it's all because she's slow at finishing her work.
I see. She says she ignores the manual often, and I think she tends to make selfish decisions. I bet work doesn't go smoothly for her.
Yeah. She wasn't like that when we were in university. I think she changed after we started working. I've been trying to tell her indirectly that it's her mistake and that her opinion isn't always correct, but she doesn't seem to realize I'm giving her advice.
No, I get it. It's pretty hard to give critical advice to your friend.
Yui's from a wealthy family, so she doesn't have any experience working somewhere. Maybe she's a bit different from us.
Oh, so does that mean she's not used to getting scolded and she doesn't know how to take critical advice?
Maybe. She told me before that she rarely got scolded at home.
Maybe she's also struggling in her own way.
I'm her friend, and I want to help her, so I've been listening to her complaints all this time. But do you think it was a bad idea? I want her to change, but do you think it's impossible? You educate new workers sometimes at work, right? Do you have any good ideas?
I've never worked with her, so I'm not exactly sure what she's really like at work, which makes it harder to give advice to her. Maybe it's best to listen to her opinions about her job and try to get rid of her biases.
I see.
If Yui would ever complain about her job again, I was planning to have a talk with her to influence her to think differently. But the next weekend, Yui suddenly told us something very surprising.
I think I'll quit my job.
What?
Huh? You just started working there. This company wasn't for me. I can't waste my time working for a job that doesn't fit me. Starting next week, I won't be going anymore.
But you have to go through some steps when you want to quit your job.
I've had enough. Everyone looks at me with an annoyed expression, and they make me do things without any proper explanation. I try my best at work, but they get angry at me saying I can't do the very basic things. I'm scared to work there.
Yui.
I was wrong to choose this company. If I worked for a different company, I would have been able to do better.
I don't think that's the case, Yui.
Huh?
I doubt you'll be able to do any better even if you change jobs.
Why are you being so mean to me? Are you trying to say that I'll never succeed anywhere I go?
No, that's not what I meant. There's nowhere that matches you from the very beginning. It's very difficult to find a place that fits you perfectly. To build a comfortable environment around you, you must work hard and accomplish things yourself.
Are you telling me that I'm not working hard enough?
No, I know you're working very hard. You're thinking of better ways to finish work efficiently so that you can contribute to your company as much as you can.
That's right. I want to do the best I can.
I get it. And all the other employees also work very hard to finish work early, like you. You're part of a team, and a team supports each other to get their work done together. But I think you don't view them as your teammates. Don't you see them as your enemy who doesn't understand you? I think you're fighting against something, Yui. If you're like that, the people who view you as a teammate get intimidated and tired. And I bet you get tired too, more often than you need to.
I think I understand.
Following the manual might take you some extra time, but there's a reason why they included each step. It's not like they made it randomly. So it might take you longer if you don't follow those steps.
Yes.
And if it takes you longer, you'll have to work until late. But everyone knows that it takes longer for a new employee to finish work. So at most companies, there are systems to support new employees with their work. But what's important here is reporting, communicating, and consulting. If you can't do these three things properly, your boss might not realise that you're struggling with work. And they might stop you from doing things without realising you're working hard.
Okay. I wasn't working hard enough.
I think you're very hardworking. It's just that you're going in the wrong direction. If you could make some changes in the way you work, I bet you'll be one of the most dependable employees at the company. You can quit your job anytime you'd like. So how about you give it another try for another 2 months? If it's still too hard for you, you can quit your job. But by taking the necessary steps, I think that's the best you can do for your own future.
Yui. But isn't it too late to start over again? I want to start anew, but I think I'm falling behind. I think I'm a useless new employee.
Trying asking for help from other workers. You don't have to hesitate when asking for help. I think they want you to ask questions. You're still a new employee. But if your boss ever gets angry at you, and if you ever fail at accomplishing something at work, even when you worked really hard and gave it your best shot, feel free to complain about it as much as you want. We'll be here to listen.
Koki, I still struggle with a lot of things at work too, and I think the other new employees are also struggling to get used to the job. You're really smart, Yui. I know you'll learn faster than anyone if you get the hang of it. So, why don't we give it another try together? Naoko, Koki, thank you so much for your advice. I'll start anew and work hard.
I don't know much about Naoko and Yui's workplace, but according to Naoko, Yui has changed a lot at work, and now she doesn't complain much about her company when she comes over on the weekends. Yui told me that since we had that conversation the other day, she's been asking a lot of questions to her boss, and even asks about why it's best to take those steps. At first, her boss looked annoyed answering her endless questions, but after he realised that answering her questions in detail helped her to get her job done early, she said that he happily explains it to her now.
I'm starting to enjoy my job now that there's more things I can at work. Thank you very much for your advice.
Great, I bet you worked really hard.
I've been blaming others for my own mistakes. I regret doing that. Would you be willing to help me out when I'm struggling again?
If I can be any help, I'd love to.
I'm glad you didn't quit your job, Yui. Thanks for your help, Koki.
Don't worry.
So, I have a present for Yui, who decided to start anew, and Koki, who rescued Yui from her struggles. Go and have fun at the theme park.
Huh? Just me and Yui?
I want to go to the theme park with you.
Oh, sure. Then let's go there together.
Don't don't forget to get me some souvenirs.
A few days later, I went to the theme park with Yui and she confessed her love to me there.
Koki, I love you. I was really happy when you took my issues seriously and gave me advice that day.
Thanks for telling me that, Yui. When we had a conversation that day, I was actually feeling nervous. I was scared you might say, I don't care, you don't understand me. You listened to me carefully and worked hard to become a better person. I knew you were a very honest, nice person. You were just struggling and having a hard time back then. I'm also in love with you, Yui. Would you be my girlfriend?
Yes.
When we told Naoko that we started dating, she looked really happy. I guess she gave us the tickets for the theme park to set us up that day. 3 years have passed, and Yui's boss now has high hopes for Yui more than any of her colleagues. And Yui and I are about to get married. Yui was a very honest and hardworking person. Things might change if you change the way you act and think. If you ever get stressed and think things are not going well for you, it might be a good idea to reflect on your actions, because you might be the reason why you're having a hard time. See you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications.